right, Coach, I want to talk about that first match against WT. They're a tough team, but I mean, we look at it 22-25, 23-25, 25-22. Y'all were in it the entire time. What does that competition kind of do for y'all at this point of the year?
Well, it was a good match. It was a high-level match. We played really well. They played really well. It was fun. It was back and forth. Obviously not the result that we wanted, but it teaches us that we've got to play a full game, a full match. It's like playing basketball. You play for 40 minutes, 38 minutes could be awesome. If 2 minutes are bad, it can cost you the match. It could cost you the game. And so we felt like we kind of let it slip away. We had opportunities to win. That doesn't mean we would have won the match, but I felt like we had opportunities in sets 1 and 2. Played really well in set 3. It was 18-all in set 4. So it's just it tells our team that we're capable. And I think they took that away from that for sure. But you still got to get the job done.
And then y'all turned around and took on Cameron. Set 1, y'all flew away with it. Set 2, we kind of saw it go up to like 30 points. But y'all ended up running away with the 3-1 win. How does that help y'all going into this week where y'all take on a tough team like Lubbock Christian in Eastern New Mexico? Yeah,
it would be easy to have a big emotional letdown, after a tough match the night before. We had 1,200 people in here. It was a great crowd. A lot of support from the community and the school. A lot of groups were here that night, and we still had a really nice crowd on Saturday as well. So it would have been easy to be, oh, poor me, feel bad for ourselves. I told them in the locker room after the match, I said, we can't have we lost hangover. We've got to come out and compete. And I thought we came out real strong. We played some younger players in the second set and had plenty of chances to win that set, but credit to Cameron for hanging tough and getting it done. But we answered in the third and fourth and played pretty well. So, we've got 2 matches this week, Friday and Saturday. Both are very tough places to play. Lubbock Christian is like you're at the bottom of a bowl. It's a good space. They always have good crowds there. And Eastern New Mexico is very different. It's every year it seems like they move the court like it's in a different direction. It's in a different place. So you never really know what you're going to get there. And both teams that are capable of winning. So we've got to be prepared and get a good week's worth of work in.
And then kind of just going off that, what's the focus this week since y'all did kind of split the weekend, drop WT, but y'all won against Cameron? What's the focus this week going into these 2 matchups?
It's the same as always. We got to get better at a few things. We got to make sure that we're preparing for each opponent because those 2 teams are very different that we play this week. Just like last weekend, WT and Cameron couldn't be more different in terms of what they do. So we've got to be prepared for what's happening. So we're going to work, we're going to get in, we're going to grind a little bit this week and get better.
And then my last question, does it make it any harder or maybe a little more tiresome on the girls having those 2 road games with it being a Friday, Saturday turnaround? And if so, how are y'all, going to try and make sure those girls stay energized and focused?
No, I don't think so at all because the preseason we'll play 2 matches on back-to-back days, and conference postseason is 3 matches 3 days in a row, so it's just part of it. They understand it. They all came through the club system, where you're playing 4 or 5 matches in a day, 2 or 3 days in a row, so I don't think that'll be an issue at all.
All right, Coach, obviously wasn't the result that everyone wanted on Friday.
I like Thursday. How you said everyone. I like that. It's good.
But y'all were in it the entire time. That's the level of play that you're going to have to maintain to challenge for the conference title. What steps are y'all taking, or where did you find out about yourselves in that match? This is what we have to get better at to take it to that next level.
I think the most important thing is that we've got to compete for every point. We gave up some runs, some extended runs. And we got ourselves back into those matches after those runs, but you can't do it twice in a set, And so we've got to be able to cut the momentum quicker, And I think that we have to maintain the tempo of the ball we want to set. As we get stressed, we tend to set it a little higher and a little slower, which is a disadvantage for us. One of our advantages is how fast we go, how fast we set the ball, how quick we get to it and attack it, and as our stress level increases, as the intensity of the match increases, we tend to set it a little higher, a little slower, and that doesn't work for us. So we've got to maintain and continue to do what we do despite the the challenges of each match.
And of course, you talk about that some teams might have had an emotional letdown going into that next matchup, but y'all showed up, you kind of dominated, you just said you got some good work in with some of the younger players too. What does that say about the resiliency of this team, and how are you going to take that into next week?
Well, I think it says a lot about our leadership. I think it says a lot about the kids who are here and went through a season like we went through last year, that they're not going to have that. That they're not going to allow that to happen. And I can appreciate it because, it's a challenge. It's a big letdown to lose to your rival who's top 5 in the country, on a night where you probably could have won. It would be easy to be like, oh, poor me, but we didn't have that mentality at all. We came out, we had serve and pass the next morning, we were energized, we were ready to go, played hard and did what we wanted to do.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.